challenges I think are a beautiful way of taking the identity, meaning, and direction part and pulling it into your daily system and stress testing your system and seeing if your system actually works.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Past Your Prime, the podcast for active adults balancing training, rehab, family, and real life. I'm Alex Kiker, pro volleyball player, working dad, recent inductee into the Injury Collection Hall of Fame. I'm here with my guy, Craig Smith, physical therapist, coach, and life professional. Today, we're going to do a little recap of Craig's recent challenge and kind of talk about the value of periodic fitness challenges like 75 hard. I don't know why I have to say it like that, but I got to make it weird. Why do they matter? Is it just discipline, or are you just ticking a proverbial box? Craig's going to break down what worked, what didn't. Well, it kind of had to work or else you wouldn't have completed the challenge.
And we wouldn't be talking about it. I would have acted like I never actually did the challenge, probably.
I saw the photo montage. He did the challenge.
Yeah.
He is hard.
Come on. I did show him a photo that I'll probably never share with anybody else.
We did say the photo montage will go up. So at some point, the photo montage needs to go up. I'm holding you to it. Okay. Quick aside, we have launched the Past Your Prime podcast Instagram. So go give us a follow over there because nobody was following us individually. Well, maybe you, but not me. So go follow at Past Your Prime podcast on Instagram. That is going to be our new little content stream.
Which should work really well. Can't go as bad as what our individual ones have done so far. I mean, we're saying that, but we actually have gotten way more subscriptions than we've had so many subs now.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast yet, throw us a subscription. All right. Enough shameless plugs. Why do challenges like 75 hard matter?
Do you remember the conversation we had? It was probably in the teens of our podcast episodes where we talked about identity, meaning, direction, and systems.
Yeah.
I think with the challenges are really useful, I think, in pulling those things together. And I honestly don't feel like I thought about that a ton before doing this most recent one, but I'm guessing you do too. You set challenges for yourself all the time and
then you tell me to stop.
And tell you to stop back. They expose a system and they explode your system, but challenges I think are a beautiful way of taking the identity, meaning, and direction part and pulling it into your daily system and stress testing your system and seeing if your system actually works.
Yeah. My new identity is just wanting to be able to like wash my hair or, get out of bed. It's changed quite a bit since whatever episode 10.
Are you going to share that? Are you going to share what happened?
Well, I mean, that's why I said Hall of Fame inductee to the Injury Collection Hall of Fame.
Share it, dude. You got to tell it. Now you got to tell people.
Well, I've got a traumatic synovitis and I've got a floating bone in my elbow.
Maybe you might have a loose body, but
it's not loose. We've confirmed that there's just a little bone in my biceps tendon.
Yes, but it's not floating.
It's not floating.
It's just there.
Which is a normal anomaly, apparently, that I have, unrelated to my traumatic synovitis.
So it's not. It's actually not funny, but it is.
But I can't bend my arm or extend my arm. I can't touch the back of my head when I try to tie my tie in the morning. It hurts. And so I know last episode we talked about Craig's this distaste for injections, but I think I'm going to go injection heavy here in the next month. I don't think my league tests for PEDs. So
I have no issue with injections when they're warranted. I think when you're using a symptom masker, it's important to know that you're using it. There's certain phases where it's important, but I absolutely think you should be getting an injection, an aspiration with the joint. Like it'll make it feel dramatically better, and then it can move us forward. Your ability to irritate a joint is like epic.
Yeah, I did it in the middle of the night, which, goodness gracious, I don't even know how it happened, but yeah, I freaked out. My arm was locking up on me.
God, It's
And it's been like 3 weeks.
yeah.
We haven't been in the studio together for about 3 weeks. So you're 3 weeks past this 75 hard.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
And I'm 3 weeks into not being able to touch my ear.
Yeah. So we will come back to what to do in those types of situations in the next couple episodes. But
Anyway, back
Yeah.
to identity. My identity is injury collector. Your identity is 75 hard.
conquer. I conquered it.
Yeah, I remember when I wanted to be like a weapon. And I'm more like a limp noodle now.
Okay.
You're
So
not going to hurt anybody with a limp noodle.
oh my god, I'm so turned around on where we're at right now. But anyway, the 75 hard was the most recent version of a challenge that I wanted to basically see how it worked within my day to day. It made me realize that I actually have probably been doing challenges very similar to this, just not that clear cut
Specific.
for a really long time. I mean, even like Alex and I doing this podcast, it was a challenge for us to get to 52 in a year, basically. So we're trying to hit one a week, and we're definitely
We're on pace.
track. You can be really intentional with challenges and make it so that they reinforce the things that you want to have happen in your life. The 75 hard was one of those, and it's one of the more famous ones. So I think there's a lot of takeaways for me from it, though.
Are there others?
There's a lot. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of them.
Oh, okay.
There's one of them that a version of what I'm going to do that came from Life of Focus that I want to do. That's going to be my next one.
Do you have updates on your project that you were working on?
I'm not sharing that yet because it's not completely done, but it's
We're supposed to finish. So
I got
so
70
you need to start over.
no.
All right.
no.
Well, we'll be excited to hear about that when you're ready to release the secret info. What was so hard about 75 hard? We need to have a hard tally.
Yeah,
Times we
Ding,
say
ding.
hard
a lot.
during the 75 hard episode.
Yeah. Count actual number spot them. The hardest part, wasn't the workouts, it was actually drinking the water by far.
I think you had mentioned that a couple of times.
It is uncomfortable doing patient care drinking that much water. Like you're constantly like I basically had to figure out a system of when to be able to consume water so that I didn't have to go take like 3 breaks during a client session, which nobody wants to be treated by a clinician who is constantly going, one moment, I need to go grab something outside of the room.
I think a catheter could have solved that for you.
that was like one thing in the system I didn't actually figure out. That was actually the hardest part. But by the end, even that wasn't that difficult. It was wild when if a day something got off during the day and I had to drink like 32 or 40 ounces of water and like before I went to bed. That's where you're not going to be sleeping much that night.
I tried to do the water thing just for a couple of weeks just to experience some of your pain. Yeah, lots of folks at the office are like, you can go into the bathroom far too often.
You might have a bladder infection. So that was the hardest part. Logistically though, too, the workouts, there are some days where, we have like long work days and I knew that they had to be 3 hours apart. One had to be outside. I had to be very specific on what my day was going to look like. And it was days where what I thought was going to happen didn't happen. Those were the closest calls. So that all only really happened 3 days. And what was funny, it was almost every time was on this day, the day that we do our podcast recording. And so ones where I actually thought the day was going to be easy were the ones where I almost didn't get the workouts in.
Yeah. So you had to be super adaptable, it sounds
Oh my God, yeah. But the days that were just normal days wasn't even hard. I really don't like 2 workouts in a day at all. Like my body does not like that at all.
Well, you're an older man. I think when we were in our 20s, it would have probably been no problem. And you probably could have hit 2 hard workouts.
It's where you got the mutant juice where you can survive and handle anything.
Yeah.
It's not, that's gone.
Or you get the injections.
Or you get the BP 157.
Yeah, that's the peptide that I think I'm going to start injecting in myself.
We'll track and see how your body handles it.
Yeah, I think honestly, it's like an interesting little case study to see, like, does my wrist all of a sudden feel better? Are my knees 20 years old again? So workouts weren't hard. Like, where did you get value out of doing this somewhat ridiculous challenge?
So first up, I think it was valuable just that it was difficult. So it got me out of my normal routine. And what I really liked about it was I had not really thought about a lifestyle without drinking. Just hadn't been like a thing that had been in my head prior to this challenge.
Because you were addicted before.
What, dude? I I definitely had I definitely had routines that used alcohol.
You enjoyed a nightcap.
I enjoyed a nightcap. I enjoyed a night wine, if that's what you call it. I had some rituals that I had just never really examined.
Saying ritual does make it seem a little bit addictive.
It does. It does. Well, I mean, the fact that I used wine as a way to separate from work. But not only that, what I found too, and this is something Sarah, my wife, and I had talked about, because of it too, I don't think I never actually really made a good disconnect from work. Like we would continue talking about it or like going through things that we were trying to do and get done with our work day. And because of the drinking, I honestly think that we were less clean with breaking off from work to just being at the house.
Yeah, a
and
glass
off
of
work.
wine and a conversation about what happened at
Mhm.
the office that day.
So it made me really examine that aspect of work. And it's something that this next challenge that I'm going to do is going to be really specific on. But yeah, I just had never thought about not drinking. So from the time in college where I first drank, and till now, I definitely had never taken this long. But since the challenge has been over, I've had no issue with not drinking. So
Nice.
it definitely helped to pull something from my identity of somebody I wanted to be, a person who doesn't require alcohol to navigate my day to day.
Yeah.
And it really pulled it forward. It actually was extremely helpful at that aspect of it.
When you're waterlogging yourself, it's probably hard to have any other liquids on
Yeah.
top of that. I don't want any more liquids, please. So 75 days, I try to like think of that. It's like 11 weeks, give or take.
Mhm.
Did the length of time
Big
have
time.
any significance to you?
Yeah, honestly, like, I've heard other people talk about how long it takes to wire a habit, and I actually was looking at the research on it, and it's not as clean as what I was thinking it was going to be. So
I always thought it was like a week.
it definitely, I think it's variable on what it is, and I think there's all these different interactions of what drive it to become habitual. First, your ability to do it, and like we talked about, the prompt, those types of things have huge impacts on if you're going to do an activity. But one of the things like we did with the alcohol is we took all of the alcohol and it's hidden, and we've never pulled it back. And so there's not even a visual cue now to drink anymore at our house. It was a gigantic difference just from day one. Like it's something that I think about all the time now. If you've read the book Atomic Habits, one of the things that you can do with these cues is you can erase them. You can do things that make it so it's hard to get a cue to initiate the action. I think that was a big one. But the 75 days piece, like I basically got a month in and I still had 45 days left. So a month in, and I felt like I'd grooved the pattern, and then I had 45 days to reinforce the pattern. It was powerful. Like I actually think the 75 days was one of the most important aspects of it.
Because it's not too short, but it's also not ridiculously long.
You know what? It's not ridiculously long, and it definitely gives you time to reevaluate. I think of my life in like monthly chunks, right? This forced it so I couldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna get it through this month like a sober month. You know, you've heard of those types of challenges.
I did a sober year.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the difference. I think
Yeah.
a year is quite a bit more difficult, right?
I just made a choice, but you know me, I go 150%
don't
on
have to have
everything.
it. Oh my God. It made it so that you couldn't just like brute force it. It was going to be, there's an actual change. You're going to have to negotiate relationships where people are going to be drinking or doing whatever activity, and you have to make decisions around it. It's going to disrupt things. Like you can't just go through and actually keep the same habits
And you're just at the bar reading a book and working on deep work.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Stupid.
And you went on like a wellness retreat during this time.
I did.
And were able to kind of integrate these systems while being quasi on vacation.
I mean, from the fact of like mocktails, like that's kind of
That's a
it's
thing
interesting.
now.
Yeah. And
the
it's
restaurant we
basically
were at
everyone.
last night had splendid mocktails.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it does sound like most of my stuff is around alcohol, but that definitely was the most profound piece.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. I am happy for you. I just did like a month off from the beverages, but had some champagne last night. So
Yeah, he's
anyway.
a little hungover today, which is good.
I'm not. You asked that question right when I got in. I didn't even stop and get caffeine because I didn't need it this morning.
Me either.
There's a Starbucks right.
I probably should have like a caffeine restriction.
Yeah, I've got 11-month-old. I'm not stopping caffeine for a while.
Dude, I saw that you slept 10 hours. That was incredible.
Yeah, I was sharing my sleep score. Had a 99 one day this week. It was great. Even though I'm injured, I'm sleeping way better than I ever have for whatever reason. Okay, so challenge has ended. It sounds like you're not going back to normal. Of the habits are sticking. You're not going to drink 128 ounces of water every day. You're only going to work out a couple times a week now. What else?
The biggest part is I want to make this type of a challenge where I want to focus on growth areas. I want to make that permanent. And it's something I'd kind of messed around with before, but I feel that I didn't have a way to make it into my system. And now I definitely do. Like it's from now on, every quarter, I'm going to have a 75-day challenge for myself of something that I want to have a daily focus on.
That's the whole quarter.
No, it's just 2.5 months.
2.5. Okay, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So I want to have a 2.5 month challenge where it's just, I really like the coolest part about the challenge is that it brings a daily intention that you have to hit or you fail it. So I like that there is something that you have to be on top of the whole time. And then what I've found is this washout period of time where you just take some time off before you start the next one. So I was going to start one sooner, but it really works on a quarterly basis where I can chill out, see what sticks and what things I want to keep inside my system from then on, and then move forward with the next one. Because there's always something that you want to have some intention around. I find that it's going to be a really nice force function on my daily habits.
Your water bottle's gotten significantly smaller.
I will not do that again. So if I had to go through now and say which things I'm going to keep, I'm keeping the challenge aspect. Water, that is not happening anymore. That the level of awkwardness, I'm not going to drink a gallon of water. And I also just don't know if that's even that healthy, So if for my body size, like there were certain times where I'm like, my stomach kind of hurts from how much water I just had to drink. And so I did not enjoy it. We literally live in a desert, and it felt my body kept
Still
up
too
going.
much?
Yeah, I was like, what is happening? So anyway, I'm gonna drink, and what I found is about 100 ounces, about 80 to 100 ounces, where I feel and I function the best. Anything beyond that, which I was drinking, 128 ounces, I think was the gallon, and that extra 28 really
No, I find that
sucked.
most days I end up right about 100 ounces. And in the morning, it's bad because I drink a lot of water in the morning. But and then I have a caffeine drink and it's like, woo, it's just
I'm done.
flowing through me.
Right. So water, that's an adjustment. Parts I'm going to keep. The drinking part, I really like that I broke that habit. Like there's no desire. I think that social engagements, my plan is to be okay with it, but on my own, it's going to be a permanent change.
Is Sarah on board with that?
Yeah. Yeah. So we both have that opinion, but it's also, I'm not going to say no at a social aspect. Like that's going to be fine, but it's going to be rare.
You don't want to be too weird, just a little weird.
I want to be a little weird. I already have enough weirdness.
I'm rubbing off on you. Sorry,
Yes.
man.
Yes. The 2 workouts, that's going immediately. That was actually if I had to say water and the 2 workouts, the 2 workouts was terrible.
You said at the beginning the 2 workouts weren't too bad.
Getting them in was a little bit bad, but my body fatigued unbelievable. So I actually got to the point where I couldn't tolerate any intensity in my workouts.
Yeah.
And
just very slow walking for 45 minutes.
I know, twice a day. But what I found happened was my fatigue during the day went through the roof. I started having which I think was related directly to the workouts, because that was probably that's where I felt the most fatigue. I started feeling smoked if I did a hard workout. So I couldn't even do an intense workout because of it. And then I also found that it really affected my workday. So longer work days made the workouts even worse. And my body I could just tell it needed a recovery break. That's like my rate of perceived exertion started to feel worse. My reps in reserve how many more reps I think I could have done got less. I even started to have where I think muscle soreness that was extreme was started to happen. So while it was easy to get it in my day, my body did not like that. So that I think I'll continue doing something like 6 workouts. I really enjoy the morning walks, but I'm definitely never going to go back to 2 workouts in a day.
Yeah, I don't think that I'd have the time in the day to do that as it stands right now.
Something else would have to change. Yeah, I think the work length day would have to go down a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Okay. Progress photos. That's interesting to have that many photos of myself without my shirt on, which was, I'm not sure if that's necessary, but it definitely got me over the weirdness of that.
Saw that there was at least one. Now, if there's 75, I can't speak to that, but we'll wait and see the montage.
100% sure there's going to be any montage.
Oh, there will be.
I'm happy with how I looked at the end of it.
I'm happy with how he looks too.
Wow. There we go. Now I don't.
Craig's super swole, guys. That's what it comes down to. He's it looks like a UFC fighter underneath there.
Yeah, I got to get like the whole sword tattoo or something.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar style.
Yeah, that's a.
No, I think you look better than Brock Lesnar.
I definitely don't need something that big. That's for sure. Daily hour focus, which is an additional thing I did. That was nice. Track that on a focus app. Did use the Pomodoro technique where you do the focus time followed by like a 5-minute break and then hit it again.
Pomeranian?
Pomodoro? You've never done that?
Don't know about is that like an Italian pizza?
I honestly have no idea why it's called Pomodoro. I think that means tomato, right?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it means tomato, and it's typically a 25-minute focus session, and it might be that the tomato is a timer. It's something like that. But anyway, you focus for 25 minutes. You take a break for 5 minutes, just kind of relax. Then you go 25 minutes again, break for 5 minutes. Normally, I would do another one for 25 minutes. And then at the end of 3 sessions, I take a 15-minute break. That's my typical, like if I'm in like a focus, I'm working on something, it allows me to get through the work. And it was really nice. The focus hour worked really well, and it was really on a specific project.
Cool.
The reading part, where you had to read 10 pages. I mean, I was already doing it. What I found it was useful as a prompt to make sure it happened every day. That didn't really change much for me. So it was more of a prompt than anything.
What were you reading? Just out of curiosity.
I read a few books. The one that I just finished was called Humankind, which is a really interesting book where there's pushback on the idea that humans are evil by nature. And he gives a lot of really, really good examples.
But it's like research.
I did a lot of nonfiction.
It had to be nonfiction.
It had to be nonfiction, which is typically the type of books that I read. There was a lot of, I finished that one. I'm reading his other book called Moral Ambition. So I had that one almost finished. Yeah, I finished like 6 or 7 books. Yeah.
That's impressive.
I was trying to be impressive. The last one, the nutrition part, I have met with a dietitian, and one of the things that came out of it was what drives your hunger, whether it's that you're actually hungry or if it's because you're bored, or like what's actually causing you to feel hungry. This time of a little bit more limited in what I was eating, I really noticed that I get really hungry when I'm bored, and then I get really hungry when I have stress. And it was just kind of nice to see it where I would normally go, okay, I'm just going to go snack on something, and then I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So that was once again, it was more just gave me a view of sometimes I reach for food or I was reaching for alcohol to relieve stress, and it didn't even make me less stressed. It was just an activity. So just kind of masked it.
Yeah. Mine, it's all about preparation. When I'm prepared, I just eat what is in front of me. And I'm the opposite. I have to like force feed myself, or
Really?
I just won't eat all day. Yeah. I intermittent fasted for like 8 years because it fit my work schedule at the time.
I mean, but that brings me, that is so critical to understand that everybody's systems are different. Your natural way that your brain and everything operates. So mine is the exact opposite. Like, I don't know if I really feel full, and which is kind of funny. So I can just eat a lot, and I don't always, like, I will have almost like constant feeling like I could eat something, like I'm hungry. But I think what I'm realizing is my stress. I even had a dietitian once where I was talking with her, and she said that stress can induce it. And I was like, I don't know. I don't really feel stressed. Listed off everything I was doing. And she's like, none of that's stressful. I was like, well, you're right. It is stressful. And I've changed what stress means to being hungry. And I think a lot of us do that, where we change signals because we feel comfortable actually digging into the emotion that we're actually experiencing. So I eat my feelings.
I just cry about my injuries.
You just push through it, ignore it. Just tap it down.
Okay. So what's next for you? It sounds like another challenge is coming up soon.
October 2nd. Sarah and I are starting another one.
That's in 4 days.
4 days. 4 days we'll start another one. I'll share what it'll be the next time. I have it the outline of it written up on my phone.
All right. And will it be another 75-day challenge?
It'll
Or
be 75 days.
all your
75.
challenges, you're just going to make 75,
Yes.
insert what the challenge is. And they're not all going to be fitness challenges.
I would say most of them are not going to be fitness challenges because I actually am very comfortable with where my fitness is. That's not where my focus is right now. I think a lot of my focus is going to be more around work, not being a unidimensional human being where I only work.
I have children, so that has changed that
You're
for me.
bidimensional.
Yeah, I'm bidimensional. And then I spike volleyballs. I'm tridimensional.
You're
I'm in 3D.
You are literally a triangle.
Watch us on video here at Past Your Prime because we're in 3D.
The video should be better today. So
yeah, we'll see. Slightly different setup for us. So if you think things sound good, throw us a comment down below. So I think that ties it up for today, unless there's anything else challenge-wise you want to talk about.
Well, I just think that it's important if you kind of think through our thought process, which is identity to meaning to direction to system. The challenge is if this is something that hits you and there's things that you want to change about yourself and you're not realizing the changes that you want to have. I think this is a great way for you to build out improvements in the things that you do day to day.
But it could be like as simple as like, I'm going to do 50 push-ups a day. I currently can't do push-ups for several reasons, but something like that, it could be small and it could just start you on a path towards kind of obtaining the goals that
it can
you
be
want.
Really small. Yeah. And I think that's the coolest part about it is if you think of the challenge instead of it being like a pass fail and more of a system refinement, I think you're going to have a lot more success with it. And I also think that you should start to stress test it a little bit before the challenge actually starts.
Right.
And being intentional around it. And to me, so when I think of the challenges that I want to do, I write about it a lot. Like, who is what person do I want to show the world that I am, and what person do I want to be? And I actually like to see if I'm actually the person that I want to be is the one that everybody else is perceiving right now.
You just wanted to show me.
Alex, I want to show you this is me. He did ask to see my photo. Okay, I didn't come.
I had to.
Yeah, like a weirdo.
Yeah, I'm
hey,
super weird. Whatever.
Look at my body.
Yeah.
But I think that part's actually really critical to understand. And our team just had a whole meeting where we talked about what makes you engaged with work. And there's a really cool book by Daniel Pink called Drive. And there's 3 big things that he talks about, which is autonomy, purpose, and mastery. Those 3 things are really what drive your engagement with work and really your engagement with anything. And I think that oftentimes you can have where you don't examine what drives you. So you don't examine on where you can maximize your autonomy. You don't examine if your meaning, your purpose is something that's actually what you want it to be. And you don't have anything that actually drives your expertise or your ability to do things better, to become a master at that. And your system is where you get to do all of those things. And so it really helps to be, it sounds hard, but it's actually very engaging when you start to think of a challenge as something where you're just showing the type of person that you are.
Yeah, that makes it sound so good and so bad at the same time. Like for the people that fail, they're like, I'm just not who I want to be.
No. If you fail, you don't really fail because you actually just learn something. So you would
learn
look
where your system broke down.
Yeah. So you just circle and you go, okay. And so for example, in this next 75 days, I don't look at it as a pass fail. I didn't have a single day where I didn't do the 75-day challenge where I didn't hit all those things. But let's say in the next 75 days, I'm not stopping. Like there might be a thing, but I'll just circle it and it's gonna change how I do it. And I might just redo the challenge again my next quarter. But I really am not looking at it as a pass fail. I'm looking at it as why, if I can't do it on a daily basis, what is it that's actually stopping me? And in those situations, I think it's really critical to circle where the failure happened. So you can learn as much from the failures as you do from the successes. But then at the end, it's also what things are you going to stay consistent with and carry forward through the rest of your life? I think that's just as important because if you finish a challenge and then you're just done, I don't understand what was the purpose of it. Was it just to show that you had the willpower to do it for a period of time? In that type of situation, then I do think it's just a waste. If it's purely just I can grit 75 days of anything, okay. But that's not how I'm viewing it. I view it as a challenge where I'm shaping and crafting my identity and meaning and direction the whole time.
For a greater purpose.
For a greater purpose.
leaving his mark on this earth.
Yes.
All right. Well, if you ever thought about doing something like this, I say just do it. Be like Nike.
Come on.
Get the check mark out and just do it. You can, waterlog yourself and hit the 2-a-days. It sounds like the value comes from finding your identity, building your system, and executing on it, and then finding out what's worth sticking with.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All righty. Well, Craig's next challenge starts soon, and we'll ask for more progress photos.
BYP, baby.
Peace.